I'm Shannon Butler, and are you someone who's posting a million selfies on your Facebook or Instagram page? Coming up this week on WVU News, I'll be telling you why that could be a bad thing.
I'm Andrea Del Spina, and find out why Morgantown is becoming a safer place to live, coming up on WVU News.
Do you know a construction worker or contractor in West Virginia? Coming up next, I'm Nicole Ford, and I'll tell you how a new bill could affect their livelihood. Our award-winning WVU News starts now.
Time magazine says that crime in Morgantown rose by more than 50% from 2007 to 2013. Find out how local police are responding to this article. I'm Allie Brandfast.
And I'm Nicole Ford. Our love of social media could end up becoming an obsession. Should you be worried about how much you log on to Facebook? You're watching WVU News, an award-winning newscast produced by television journalism students at West Virginia University.
Morgantown crime rates are actually going down, according to local police and city data.
Andrea Del Spina joins us now in the studio with more. Andrea.
Thanks, Nicole and Allie. Morgantown's crime rate has dropped despite an article from Time magazine that says the crime rate has risen. In fact, despite Morgantown's population increasing 14% over the past 15 years, crime rates have actually gone down. I had a chance to speak with the chief of police about the misleading article from Time magazine. Time magazine released an article listing Morgantown as number 6 in the top 10 cities where crime is soaring. However, there are over 15 communities within the metropolitan area, not just Morgantown. Factually, crime in the city of Morgantown has decreased over the years. Chief of Police Ed Preston clarified the boundaries of the data released by the FBI and what exact area they are referring to.
Morgantown does not have a great increase in crime rates. There is a significant increase in crime rates for the Morgantown metropolitan statistical area, most of which lies far outside the city limits of Morgantown.
And get this, burglaries and motor vehicle theft have gone down almost 30%. The misconception of most people is that the Time magazine article is talking about just Morgantown. However, Morgantown is only 10.6 square miles, making up just 1% of the metropolitan statistical area.
I feel safe. I've been here for 3 years, and for the most part, I've never felt unsafe. The only time is if you're walking home late at night.
From changing and reducing parking on streets with pedestrian traffic to moving food trucks and bus stops, Morgantown is being proactive when it comes to crime.
We're always taking any kind of effort that we can to try to reduce and make Morgantown as safe as we can.
Property crime has actually decreased in Morgantown by about 33%. Not only are the crime rates going down, but so is unemployment. It's down to 3% in Morgantown, while the national average is 5.4%. Allie, Nicole, back to you.
While the crime rate is low, drug use is still high in West Virginia, and it's an epidemic that's sweeping the nation. But a recent report shows prescription drug abuse hits hardest right here at home.
That's right, Nicole. West Virginia ranks #1 in overdose deaths in the nation. Now Star City Police are taking a stand to drop those numbers. Star City now has a place where residents can dispose of unused medication. The prescription drug box in City Hall accepts most medications, but asks residents to avoid placing needles in the box. Morgantown resident Michelle Biafora thinks this program will help keep drugs out of the wrong hands.
If someone has a medical procedure or dental procedure, you usually have painkillers, so you don't want to have that laying around the house, just like you wouldn't have alcohol sitting out on a counter if your teenage children have friends over. Those things need to be locked up or put away.
West Virginia is the #1 state in the country for drug overdose deaths. After the success of CVS's drug take-back days, Chief Vic Prost thought Star City could help change that with a permanent drop box.
We'd love to see it make a difference in everybody's life that even considers the possibility of abusing these drugs, because taken in any other than a prescribed form, it's very, very dangerous.
About 70% of prescription pill addicts start by using drugs from friends and family without their knowledge. If more people use these boxes here in City Hall, we could lower that statistic. The Star City Drop Box has already collected about 80 pounds of medication. One goal of the program is to limit access to prescription medications from those who might abuse them. Biafora thinks this goal is attainable.
It'll keep the kids from getting a hold of their parents' or grandparents' medication, so that will help. But I think education is always key.
All law enforcement agencies in the state are invited to apply for a permanent drug drop box and join Star City in the fight against prescription drug abuse.
While drug abuse is a major concern for West Virginians, there are issues that come with winter weather that has residents worried for their safety.
Over 140,000 cars break down each year, and most of them during the winter months. Batteries are one of the biggest culprits of breakdowns in the winter. According to AAA, a car battery loses 60% of their strength in single-digit temperatures. Checking your windshield wipers and antifreeze washer fluid is also important. Experts say everyone should have their car winterized before the cold weather hits.
While standing out in the cold with a broken down car is no fun, local construction workers are stuck outside each and every day.
A new bill is currently going through the legislature that could change the way the construction industry gets paid in the Mountain State.
I found out how some contractors are reacting to this bill. Since the beginning of the legislative session, the Republican Party has been pushing to repeal prevailing wage in the state. So what does that mean for you? Well, if you are a contractor whose company bids for jobs in West Virginia, they could get you at a cheaper rate.
Middle-class people, they're trying to support wife and family, put kids through college, and put food on the table.
Standard wage laws for contractors have been in place in West Virginia since 1931. But now some lawmakers feel that construction workers are being paid too much, and they are trying to revisit those standard laws that set their wages. Democrat House Minority Whip Mike Caputo says that he has received countless calls on the subject.
Business owners tell me they fear the most is when these out-of-state workers come in, they have very low-skilled workers and sometimes undocumented workers. And it will be real easy for them to get the bid. And when they leave, the money goes with them. It hurts an entire community.
Losing money is not the only fear. According to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, in 2013, non-prevailing wage states had 53% more construction fatalities on sites like this one. And this is because the higher paid workers leave the state, resulting in lower skilled workers taking jobs right here in West Virginia.
It's a sad day, in my opinion, for workers in the state of West Virginia.
The legislature has until March 14th to make a decision in regard to this bill.
A recent study from the University of Chicago claims that social media is more addicting than cigarettes to some people.
Shannon Butler joins us now from Social Square with the latest in social media and pop culture news. Shannon?
Thanks, Nicole and Allie. According to USA Today, there are 1 million selfies taken each day, and some people use these pictures to gain self-esteem through likes and favorites on their social media profiles. I found out what drives these people to obsession. Social networking is an active part of our culture. As of January 2014, over 70% of online adults use social media sites. Studies have shown that some people are even addicted. WVU student Alyssa Aquavella says that she obsesses over her Instagram account a little too much.
I'm crazy about my likes. If I don't have a certain amount of likes within half an hour or an hour, I'll delete the picture. As soon as I post a picture, I'm texting my sister, my brother, my boyfriend, everyone, and I'm like, go like my picture, go like it, I need more likes, and I'm definitely crazy about that.
But Alyssa is not alone. Research shows that young adults will spend around 2 hours each day just on social media. According to the Pew Research Center in 2014, 52% of online adults use 2 or more social media sites, and these sites are only becoming more popular. But be careful. According to the Child Mind Institute, overuse of social media may cause low self-esteem. Sociology professor Daniel Brewster mentions why he thinks social media may cause these problems.
So I think what social media is doing is it's kind of creating this mentality that we must meet these kind of perpetuated norms that don't even really exist, that it's unrealistic in many ways.
With over 500 million tweets being posted each day, how many likes you get seems to be very important.
If I don't get enough likes, I'm deleting the post. It's not staying up there for any longer.
2 billion people are active on social media worldwide. That's a lot of people to impress.
Selfies have become so popular that the Oxford Dictionary named it the word of the year back in 2013. Nicole Alley, back to you.
Thanks, Shannon. WVU is under scrutiny for committing sports recruiting violations.
And our own WVU sports reporter Luis Quiles tells us why the university is not completely at fault for this situation.
I'm Luis Quiles, and straight ahead on WVU News, I'll tell you how West Virginia's recruiting violations are more due to miscommunication than misconduct.
We're all different. Our interests, our backgrounds can influence our futures. But without focus, they're just dreams. But what if someone could give your interests life? If they could give your background power? If they could fuel what motivates you? That's what gives dreams meaning, purpose. And perhaps that was the moment you knew you wanted to be a mountaineer.
Many schools' athletic programs are ruined by recruiting violations, and officials were concerned when WVU was pegged as a violator themselves.
Lewis, how worried should WVU be about the most recent allegations?
Well, Nicole, the Mountaineers only committed penalties dealing with text messages and phone calls, so the punishment shouldn't be too severe. The WVU Athletic Department was put on probation last week. 14 sports are guilty of the violations, and I discovered how WVU's mistake is miscommunication and not misconduct. WVU students were shaken last week as news spread of recruiting violations against the athletic department. News of the infractions came as a surprise and a disappointment for some fans.
I was surprised. You know, you hear about this all the time, especially now in today's age. These schools are willing to do whatever it takes to get these players to go to school there.
14 of West Virginia's 19 varsity programs were put on 2 years probation, cited for recruiting violations that took place from 2010 to 2013. Notable sports involved are football, basketball, and wrestling, the most wrongdoing found by an assistant coach with women's gymnastics. In a report published by the NCAA, WVU self-reported their violations, blaming it on confusion with phone monitoring software. According to the NCAA report, West Virginia was found guilty of 64 impermissible phone calls and 294 impermissible text messages. As response, WVU levied their own punishment, limiting recruiting communications in all 14 involved programs and a reduction of 1 football scholarship. I reached out to Athletic Director Shane Lyons for comment and received a statement stating, "I was aware of this issue when I interviewed for the job, and it did not deter my confidence at all in West Virginia University. We are and always will be committed to the legislation policies of the NCAA." Now, the rules regarding text messaging to recruits in college sports has changed. However, they stay the same for track, cross country, swimming, and football. Allie Nicole, back to you.
Thanks, Lewis. And now for some positive news in sports.
WVU Sports and the Make-A-Wish Foundation made a huge difference in the life of a little boy who was fighting off a major health scare. Nicholas Wentz was born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome, where half of his heart is not developing correctly. And every day he dreams of becoming a WVU basketball player. So the team in Make-A-Wish made that dream a reality when they brought him into their facilities. He met the football team, basketball team, and even head coach Bob Huggins during his tour.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of WVU News. You can visit us at our website.
You can also watch any of our shows on YouTube. And please follow us and our reporters on Twitter. I'm Nicole Ford.
And I'm Allie Brandfast. Thanks for watching WVU News. We'll see you next time.